Right, we're on. Did you know there's only one point in the golf swing, just one point in the golf swing, where the elbow distance between each other increases? Absolutely incredible. This has been absolutely game changing for some people. It's really improved their golf. It's encouraged more connection between the upper body or control of the upper body and improved strike unbelievably well. This may even help your game. So the elbows in the golf swing. We've talked about this in the past with the Hogan situation, but remember we talked about elbows and the address position. We talked about how Hogan has his left elbow pointing towards left hip, right elbow pointing towards right hip. Kind of makes sense, that, I guess. But what if that changes? What if the distance between each elbow changes during the golf swing? What's happening? When does that happen? Why does it happen? And should it happen? So at address, I take my address position and my elbows are X distance apart, whatever distance that may be. And then when the club comes back, halfway back, my elbows are still the same distance apart. Address position, as you can see, my elbows are X distance apart. Once I get my hands to hip height, if I continue and turn round, you'll see the elbows are still the same distance apart. Then as I get to the top of my golf swing, let's move round, top of my golf swing, the elbows are still the same distance apart. As I come down into impact, elbows maintain their width or their distance between each other into impact, and then as I follow through, once I get past impact to here, I'm still at the same distance apart, and then from there into the full release, the left elbow goes further away from the right as the body and the chest open up. But that's the only time the elbows are at a different distance from each other. It's the only time they're further apart from each other is at the finish of your golf swing, or the last quarter of the motion, let's call it. Now what I commonly see, which has transformed people's game by understanding this, let's take the club back. We start off with elbows in a good position. We take the club back to here, elbows still uniform if you like, and then we get to the top of the swing and we get the right elbow going out. And when the right elbow goes away from the left elbow, we tend to see club being over the line, and then from there there's lots of things going on that don't really need to go on. Lots of things happening there. Rerouting of the club required on the way down. We have to bring that elbow back into the right side to make sure we get on a good plane on the way down. It's just keep the elbows the same distance apart and we'll just eradicate that altogether. So being good here, uniform here, and then get up to the top and increasing the distance between the elbows at the top. Then from there we have to try and pull the right elbow in, and of course we're going from an over the line position to try and swing the club round there. Hands go away from the body, all sorts of things going wrong and not a lot going right. Another common one is we get to good position here, up the top still good position, then on the way down we move the right elbow out on the way down, and of course you can see how steep the golf club is from there, cutting across. So elbows good distance apart at address, good distance halfway back when the hips, hands are at hip height, good distance at the top, maintain that all the way to the top. Then the way down, we move the hands away from the body but leave the right elbow there. We've increased the distance between the two. And then of course the club pitch is really steep and we cut across. Then of course at impact we have what's called a picking action. So Homer Kelly's golfing machine talks about impact alignments. One position he talks about, which is not correct, is a picking position. So ideally at impact, the elbows are the same distance apart as they were at address, but the left arm's bent in an attempt to try and pick the ball off the ground. So of course what happens there, the right arm should be flexed at impact, but the left arm should be straight. But of course the left arm bends to try and pick the ball into the air, and you can see that action there, how that increases the distance between the elbows. Down into impact, try and pick, elbow increased, no use whatsoever, poor strike. So there's three common places where the elbows, the distance between the elbows increase during the golf swing. Very, very hard to get them to decrease, which would be a good thing. It would be much more compact. But if we can start off in a good position, maintain those distances between elbows, swing's going to be much more structured, much more compact, and you have to play better golf from there. You just have to. Elbows, left elbow to left hip, right elbow to right hip. Good. Maintaining the distance between the two, and if that means your swing's shorter, so be it. Maintain the distance between the two, maintain through impact, maintain until the club's a yard past impact, yard and a half or so past impact. Then from there, of course, we can't keep it there. We'll have to release all that pressure which is all force and power into the golf ball. It's penetration, it's a good solid ball strike. There, left elbow to left hip, right elbow to right hip, so elbows feel a little bit closer than you're probably used to. Maintain that to the top, shorter swing. Maintain it to a yard past impact. It's all right. This is actually one of the easier drills to do. You can do this, just grab a wedge, play some short shots, and just feel how the body turns as well. Because the elbows are not disconnected, then the body has to turn a little bit more. So of course it's encouraging pivot and rotation through the elbows. If I grab my wedge, so just a wedge, you just hit some short ones, elbows close in, grip down the club here, turn, turn. I'm just trying to keep the elbows close together, even just to here, without a full release. So elbows close, elbows close. You can hear how good that is. Elbows close. It's good. And again, elbows close. It's really good, so now we've got it. Great, now I'm going to increase the length of swing, so open stance a little bit. Again, elbows close. Increase the distance there. A yard past the golf ball. Club head's a yard past the ball before that happened. Elbows nice and close together. I can feel as I take the club back, this elbow's in close here. Not as close as that, but it's certainly not out there. Got all tongue-tied there for a second. Elbow distance, just monitor at address. Good. Maintain. Maintain to there, then release. Monitor, maintain, release. Good. Back to 7-iron. Hitting full shots. I can feel the body turning more because the arms are more closer to the body. Elbows are nice and tight. It's all uniform. I'm good to there. Good to there. Good to there. There we go. I hope that helps with strike. At no point in the golf swing should your distance between your elbows increase until after impact. Keep that in mind, and honestly, your golf, it will transform your game. Guaranteed. Well, nah, guaranteed.